Remember, please hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Good morning, everyone. Today's Monday, October the 27th, and I think you'd prefer a morning video with sound. I just recorded the first one without. And so here we go. Taking a look at SPY. First off, this bounce up trade deal with China. Now, is this actually worth a bounce up? Well, you might go, no. Well, how about this? 7 billion with a B in buybacks every day until the end of the quarter. Yes, that's what corporate buybacks are doing. If you don't think the market is juiced to the bullish side in general, that ought to give you some food for thought. Secondly, or maybe we say thirdly, earnings estimates have been really smashed, brought right in, and so companies are more likely to beat them. Now, because they've been pulled in so much, if they don't make them, they're going to get punished pretty severely. So we want to be careful about that. Okay, staring down the SPY, the line in the sand to look at today is $682 on the low end. If we break that, we are in gap fill territory with the first test at 680, where the call wall is sitting. Heavy accumulation the prior day gives us support regions around 678. That's old resistance. And the floor of the congestion about 676, with the stops probably around 675. All right. Upward flow, folks, bullish momentum, bullish trend, but we have a gigantic gap. And gaps, they enjoy being filled. They don't have to get filled. I think a lot of traders who try to fill the gap like this trade specifically, so they are going to get very engaged if we lose this area around 682, but it is going to be a fight. Watch yourself right there. Okay, let's get to the E-mini S&P. Taking a look at the hourly chart, of course, brand new highs. Call wall shifted up to 6,900. We have two gamma walls that price action is really caught in the midst of. The top, 6,890. The bottom, 6,865. The 0DT call wall is in the middle of this gap opening range. That's 6,850. Again, this kind of gap is a gap that traders enjoy filling in general. The volume on the updraft, you can see high, lower high, lower high in terms of bullish price action. The last price action event of note is the hour between 3 to 4, and it was generally bearish, but it still held the floor of support, the anchored VWAP of interest, 6,825. All right, Anne-Marie, you've given us all the down low. What about the upside? Well, let's just clone this and see what we get. Cloning of the zone gives us 6,913. That's the first one. And then if we do it again, it gives us 69.37, 69.40. All right, that's the trail up. The trail down is going to jam into the call wall and potentially the top of the box, 6,832. I mean, this box is important. You don't deny that it's there. It is important. We'll just see what it does. All right, so you want to be careful. As long as it holds $6,865, we've got upside pressure. If we can't do that, we got a problem. But congestion is going to sit right here. That's what we're staring down. Bullish, but under lighter volume. NQ. Here we are at the NQ. Accumulation in, let's set up here. Accumulation on this chart, our range is 25,701, 25,771. Pullbacks likely to be buy zones. Ultimately, it might be better to wait for the movement into the 700 area to take a bounce, but you could take it at the heavy congestion edge where we broke out after about 5 hours of trading, 6 hours of trading, though I don't know. My thought would be it either works at the top, and if it doesn't immediately bounce off of that zone, you get out and you wait for it to work at the bottom. Also, at the same time, looking for a double top. Call wall, 25,600. They breached it. We have gamma lines above, 25,700. The next gamma line, 25,770. Those are going to be magnets in my mind. If we fade the gap, last hour of the day, it was okay. Big accumulation in this pocket, so we could have a lot of noise. I would look at the put support line at 25,500 to be a potential floor, though I don't really see us, moving down 250 points, but we could. We move down 1,000 points sometimes. Okay, just a quick look at Bitcoin. Gapping up, right? Moving in the opposite direction of gold, but that's something I have to sort through in my head just a little bit more. Volume flow, lighter, right? It's moving up on lighter volume. Take a look at this. We've got ourselves a fight club. All the way to the left, we can see, I'd say 117,000 as resistance and 114,000 as support. So be careful thinking it's going to break out at the top of that range. It hasn't so far. It could just chop around and either accelerate into this anchored VWAP line at 119,000 or this VWAP line at 112,800. So yeah, we got a lot. Call wall way down here at 111,000. So once again, Bitcoin option traders on the hook. Not a lot of, do I want to say that? I don't know that there's a ton of expertise working in the call, in the option chains in Bitcoin. I'll just say that. All right, let's take a look at gold. As you know, you guys, you know that I am bearish right now in this particular formation. We could easily look at this and go, oh, here's our second double topping formation, right? We're staring down an hourly event. And you could go, well, that's kind of a triple top, isn't it? Well, yeah, could be a range, multiple top level, could say we're going to lock ourselves in this zone. My suspicion is that we may just do that, but look at the size of value area high, 4,279 to 4,030. That's a pretty wide value area. $200. But we do notice this around the big fat round numbers. And so Last time it was only $70 when we were around the 3,000 mark. Now it's much more than that. So that's what we're staring down. I expect a fight here. So is it reasonable to potentially think about a long shaping up at 4,022? Yes. You could do scalp longs here if you're so inclined. But if you're looking for an hourly formation that is going to tell you what gives, you have to wait for this kind of space. There's a lot of cross action in this chart, and in general, the near-term size of the box goes from that 4,170 really all the way down to this 4,020, right? Or 4,030, somewhere there, right? Very big. They are underneath the put support line. They're underneath the put 0 DTE put support, 4,100. They're going to try and get above that today. Call wall, 4,125. They're going to try and stay below that unless the put support 0 DTE guys come out in force and they want to push price above 4,130. Option traders way off sides with these moves. They are moving outside of statistical anomalies and giving them quite a bit of a pickle. All right, folks, that's it for me. Take care, and I'll see you on the streams.